Nigeria. Now only God go help us for that country, my people. Shey don't see the reason why we make our son they cry for the book we open daily faculty me write. Shey don't see the reason why we then they cry, my people. I pray say Nigeria no go happen to me and you. After this year people, they go come out now. They tell us say if you won't talk about Nigeria, maybe they bend our mouth. Maybe the reason waiting they come out from our mouth. How we want to talk good about Nigeria. Person think foul or whatever. Una say me they go buy the person. Hey God, my people, this can only happen in Nigeria. This can only happen in Nigeria. Person wait if how many billionaire? The person they free where they walk up and down with convoy for Nigeria. Nobody see anything to do about that one. Shey una don't say now. Say the main problem we get for Nigeria now our judiciary. But these people, they don't want me anybody talk. They don't want me anybody talk. So make una tell me, how can me bad luck want to talk good about Nigeria? Me say when they talk, I want to talk good about Nigeria. When these people continue like this, hey, person see foul, me they go by hanging. My people, it be like say we don't enter one chance. So now only God will help us. From this year country where we say the law not only for the poor. May God help me and you. So my people, make una listen to
the governor of Osun State, Ademola Adeleke, on Tuesday granted pardon to Olowo Kere Shegun, who was sentenced to death by hanging for stealing a fowl and eggs when he was 17 years old. Social media was awash with reactions after a video surfaced online showing Shegun's parents narrating the story of their son. The mother said her son was said to have broken into the house of a police officer in April 2010 and carted away some of his belongings. He was subsequently charged with conspiracy and robbery and was sentenced to death. Governor Adeleke, upon receiving the news, granted the pardon in a statement shared on X. Let's read Adeleke's tweet there. He wrote, I have received the report of a case of a young man reportedly sentenced to death by hanging in Osun State for stealing a fowl. Consequently, I have directed the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Osun State, to commence full investigation into the matter and initiate process to grant prerogative of mercy to the young man. Osun is a land of justice and equity and must ensure fairness and protection of the sanctity of lives. I assure members of the public that this matter is receiving my direct attention with every sense of urgency also attached to our response to this matter. Dr. Abati, when I saw the story trending online, I was shocked. I mean, there is a law in Nigeria that would sentence people to death because of stealing a fowl. A fowl and eggs. They didn't say anything else, so fowl and eggs.
Well, I got some clarification. When I watched the interview with Biola Adebayo, with the parents of the gentleman, apparently in this particular matter, there was no case of murder because, the death penalty is for capital punishment. And then for somebody to steal an ordinary fowl, and then you sentence the person to death is quite very strange. And I think it's something also that the judiciary may want to investigate. Except that this matter was about 14 years ago. We're told that the gentleman stole the fowl 14 years ago, and he has spent 14 years in prison custody. So this just tells you about the distortions in this country, the injustice that we have in this country. People who steal billions are all over the place collecting chieftaincy titles. They have national honors. They are not in jail. It's a man that steals a fowl. One governor, I will not name him in order not to compound his agony out of office. Somebody stole his phone, common phone, and then the person was sent to prison. And the thing about justice is that even when you commit a crime, the punishment should be proportional, to the crime that you have committed. Now to Governor Adeleke. I think Governor Adeleke has taken a good decision by asking the Attorney General and the Commissioner for Justice to investigate this, to find out the circumstances. And he has already made it clear that he's going to address the matter, because justice will seem not to have been done in this case. And he has the power under the Constitution. Section 212 of the 1999 Constitution gives governors the powers either to reduce sentences or to outrightly pardon inmates. This is a man who has been put in a prison for stealing a fowl. In fact, when he comes out, maybe the Legal Aid Council or lawyers who are ready to do a pro bono intervention should reopen the case and say that this man deserves to be compensated.
Absolutely.
How much were they selling common fowl 14 years ago? Although you may say, when you commit a crime, it doesn't matter what the amount is. Fowl 14 years ago would be like, how much? Not up to, it wouldn't even be up to 1,000 naira. And the person's life has been wasted for 14 years. I think, he deserves to be compensated beyond, Governor Adeleke saying that he will grant pardon, because this is clearly a case of miscarriage of justice.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you just highlighted that, because I really wanted to hear your perspective on the story. Well, it all boils down to this miscarriage of justice. But before I come to you, I know in another development, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has banned arbitrary arrests, detentions, and phone searches of road users by police officers across Nigeria. The directive was issued on Tuesday. Egbetokun warned that such unlawful practices tarnish the image of the police and vowed severe punishment for offenders, including commissioners of police and their supervisors. I thought to tie this story in because obviously the young boy who was sentenced to death in Osun State, it's because he stole from a police officer. And I think that really is one of the reasons why. And it's good that the Inspector General of Police here has made this announcement, because how often do you see these people coming into your car, searching your phone? How can you invade your privacy and all of that? A quick comment quickly before on both stories.
Very good one there, and I'm really glad about the governor coming. He was tagged a lot of times yesterday about this case, and it's great to see that he said an investigation will be conducted. I totally agree with compensation being paid, and maybe even finding out who the officer was or who were the people that managed the case as to upholding an abuse of power, because this is what it amounts to. I don't think there's any law whereby stealing would warrant the death penalty, and then stealing of a fowl, how much? That ought to be done. Now, with the IG of police coming out to say this, I think this is a fantastic development. But we've often heard announcements like this, but no follow through, especially with regards to implementation. So one thing is, I hope that it will be cascaded down to all the officers in the police force. And then number two, a channel for reporting, so that if anyone falls victims, because he really talked about the youth, and I'm really glad that we're protecting the interests of young people in Nigeria, that there's a portal or a channel to report infractions, and that this will be taken up, and that a few officers will be made an example of, so that we can really see this policy or this directive come to life.
Absolutely.
It's very important about that. Then beyond that as well, even the IG of police himself and the police as a whole, and I know we have a story about high-handedness, this picking up people, Gestapo style, picking up people, that needs to be addressed as well. We've talked about the police reform. It's a step at a time. This is a good move. And very importantly, everyone should screen grab this announcement. If the police comes to you, just show it to them, because sometimes they seem to be the last people to get the information that things have changed. So really good one there by the IG of police.
Somebody there for 14 years.
Because
and we have people that the evidence is so stacked against them. You can see them, they are shielding themselves. Anyway, African China has said it. He said, poor man wasting money, they will see him face for crime fighter. Rich man, now they see their face for crime fighter. So the system is just rigged against the poor.
Absolutely.
All of this is caused by the leadership. So we have to go back to the and you were talking about the IG, it's a good thing. But I know there will still be police officers in this country that will still search your phone. That will still say that will not concern you. That will still brutalize people.
Yes.
And that's why the IG needs to look in. And also, Mr. IG, there's a case, so I've been hearing, Shore has been shouting about this nurse, Olamide, They said it involves the police top echelon and all of that. Please, look into that case. Let justice and also mercy prevail.
All right.
Please, two wrongs cannot make a right.
Well said, Rufai. Well said, Rufai. Again, well, kudos to the governor of Osun State for that great intervention. And we hope to see the end of the story and hope the young man be released. We'll take another story. Well, in the same vein, actually, Senator Oluremi Tinubu has donated 1.9 billion naira to support the welfare of elderly citizens across Nigeria's 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The initiative, which is part of the Renewed Hope Initiative, aims to uplift citizens aged 65 and above as part of the administration's social investment programs. Again, we are seeing the First Lady in action. This is a great season to actually give, and I love this initiative, especially the fact that it is to the elderly. Most of these people are disabled, most of these people have been forgotten, and the First Lady has started this great initiative. Ayo, I love it. I mean, Dr. Bati, do you want to say something before I go to this story here on Remi Tinubu's
just
initiative?
to ask you a question.
Yes.
I mean, the First Lady, as I said, has been very supportive of her husband. I've quoted Proverbs 18, verse 22 on this program to say who finds a good wife finds a good thing and finds favor in the eyes of the Lord. So for President Tinubu to have a very supportive wife is a very good thing. And all the efforts she's making under Renewed Hope Initiative and the support that she's also giving in the education sector, on the surface of it, no complaints, commendable. However, the question to ask is, this Renewed Hope Initiative seems to be better funded than some parastatals of government. So where is the money coming from? This is the question. 1.9 billion. The other day, she promised to build something at Obafemi Awolowo University. The other day, rice and other materials were being distributed in many states of the Federation. So Renewed Hope Initiative seems to be involving into the better funded or the best funded, let's be superlative about it.
Yeah.
That it will be the concern of Nigerians.
Yeah.
Where is the money coming from?
Yeah.
Is she spending her personal funds? Is Renewed Hope Initiative going to be audited? Yeah. If support is coming from the private sector, we just need transparency.
Absolutely.
To know where the money is coming from.
Absolutely.
Because tomorrow now, we'll hear Mrs. Tinubu has donated a 5 billion worth of investment in another part of Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Why the support is good, comes from the heart, is good, but we need to know where the money is coming from. Otherwise, Nigerians will start saying, it is our money.
Very good point.
Dr. Bati always hits the nail on the head. But it also shows, it's a fair point.
It's a fair point.
Maybe she can actually teach the government parastatals how to actually generate revenue. I mean,
how is she generating
money? That's the question we're asking. That's the question that she's asking. That's the question we're asking.
Renewed Hope Initiative is an NGO.
Yes.
Not for profit.
So let's see her books.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the
but
question.
don't also forget that she said she didn't need Nigeria's money, that they are wealthy on their own. So
this is not her money. She says it's part of the
donate some.
Okay, she'll take some of her money.
Yeah, she can also. So let's see the books.
All right.
Let's see if she's
transparency, like Dr. Bati has called for. It's nice. But I mean, as always, kudos to the First Lady of Nigeria. She's doing well, Dr. Bati. She's doing well. Well, all right. We'll take another story now. Nigerian comedian and actor Bovi Uwoma has come under fire on social media after sharing insights into his parenting approach, emphasizing the importance of understanding and empathy over corporal punishment. Bovi spoke during an interview with the Honest Bunch podcast, which aired on Monday.
I don't advocate for beating children. You should let children be. My son Chuchu, they break television for the fun of. If he vex, he go, whoa, he would throw stuff and break. So he got to the age where he got to, and I saw the remorse.
I remember that first one where he post. We get one where he post one time.
That was the third TV.
So after he broke the first one, you didn't say, he might break the second one. Let's just leave TV for now until, you bought the second one. Okay, did you buy a cheaper one the second time?
No, but thank God for capacity. Do you
Thank
get?
God, though.
If I couldn't afford another TV, then the approach would have been totally different.
Of say where the money go come from.
Yeah, you know. That's why I tell people you are very correct. Most times when we hit kids, check. Are you really trying to correct them or you are frustrated?
Bobby is asking if it's frustration that is causing the corporal punishment. I mean, that is method of parenting.
So
Rufai.
there are many parenting methods. I think the disconnect is a lot of people think the way they parented the generation Xers is the way they will parent the generation, the millennials and the generation, the Gen Zs. For the generation Xers, a lot of them were talked to in slaps. Before you even say anything, back. That's the group where their parents will don't spoil the rod, spoil the child. For the millennials, they still chop some slaps, but was not at the magnitude, because then they were already getting exposed to, better parenting method, affirmation training and things like that, and all of they got recent slap, but their mothers or fathers started saying, "Oh, why are you behaving this way, you too?" Because as at that time, the generation Xers grew up in the late 80s, the generation, the millennials in the 80s, they were growing up, they were already getting interface of better parenting methods, psychology and things like that. So it's not as much slap and the echo that the collected generation Xers collected.
Okay.
Then the Gen Zs is a whole different ballgame entirely. But like Ira was saying, he made a caveat as regards this. With parenting, no two children are the same. The style that works for a child might not work for the other child. There are some children that growing up, the parenting style for them is when you sit them down and you talk to them. And I'll tell you something like about me, for instance. For me, and this is my trend, my parents never hit me.
Neither my parents.
Guess
my
what?
Parents never hit me
What
either.
my father that said to me, that used to be as though they flog me, is anytime I did something naughty, he would just say, "You said you loved me."
Oh.
And that was what we shared. And if he says, "Oh, and you said you loved me and you did such a thing," that word will hurt me. I will try as much as possible to justify, no, that is not true. But there are some children that one will not hold. But they will move on.
Ayo, you
parenting
provide...
styles differ.
All right. Ayo, you wanted to...
And he actually did correct it. He made that point.
You wanted to clarify that caveat, yes.
And my child had a speech impediment,
Yes.
a communication problem
Yes.
that's only just starting to improve.
Yeah.
So he gave
So
a bit. He said he was in trying to color the language. People took it out of context, but maybe he didn't provide enough context, and that's why it's important that he mentioned that children, you have to understand your child to parent them properly. So he understood, even though it's not accepted, don't go and use the same format. So if your child is not the same, Bobby allowed them to break 3 times. He gave some context to it that was because the child had some special needs.